Den är din, ni ställer den där.
Tack ska du ha.
All right, so English now. Hello, nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you. We were talking backstage. This is actually your first ever interview.
In front of people. I'm not nervous. Hi. Can I leave now?
No, you can't.
Okay.
First ever, and it's also in front of all of you. Okay, so, but I'm your friend.
Hello, friend.
Hello. I really want to congratulate you. I told you about that before, but I really mean it. I want to congratulate you. You have had so much success.
Thank you so much.
You have done such a journey for such a long time. How does it feel?
Awesome, it feels great. Thank you.
And I don't know if you know this, but Abba Björn Ulvaeus said in an interview that your team are actually, quote, flooding the world with music that you create. Flooding the world with your music.
Just like he did back in the day, so
exactly.
It's cool, yeah.
It's amazing. Do you have time to grasp where you are? Do you think of it, or?
Not really. We just do what we do.
You keep on working.
Absolutely.
But about that, because that's the kind of a perception I have of you and your collaborative team, that you have such a work ethic, some kind of values when you work. Can you explain those? What are those values and work ethics?
I don't think it's work ethics. It's like an obsession with what we do. So we don't see it as work really. So it's more the opposite, that we have to learn to not work. So they make us like go out, have dinner, go out, get out the studio. You can't work July and stuff. You know? So it's not.
You can't work July. That's a very Swedish thing to do in LA. Not working July.
Yeah, but it's Julius.
So the work ethic is actually
just imprinted in our souls, I think. It's not.
What happens? You kind of like zone in and just keep on working.
Yeah, I don't think me or the people I work with think about that at all. It's a natural thing.
What's the focus? Is it the creating, or is it putting out music there for the artist and the business and what's the main focus? What's the driving force?
I think for someone like me is the creativity. That's the starting point, and the rest of it comes with like the teamwork, the team, and all the other people that makes it to a presentable thing. So.
But I don't know if you guys know this, but it's really hot here. I'm going to take my clothes off. Oh, not my clothes off, but my jacket.
Don't take your clothes off. Keep them on.
It's not that kind of a show.
I heard your mom is here, so
my mother is in the front row. I can't. See, this is a nice interview.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but actually when I read about you, I have done so many research about you during the last weeks. You really started from scratch. You're one of those people that really started from nothing. You were a DJ in Malmö. You have made remixes for a lot of years, sometimes bootlegs, and they were not really meant to be singles or in charts or anything like that, but your remixes and the stuff you made found its audience, and to record companies sometimes through circulation, through the underground scene. That's a very genuine way to do stuff. And I mean, how do you remember that time?
I don't. I mean, nothing really. That time is exactly how yesterday was, and probably tomorrow's gonna be. We just sit down and create. And
what was your goal then when you were creating that much?
Just making music. Nothing. That's the goal, right?
I think it is for you, but many people thought that you were going to like continue being a star DJ and maybe going into the EDM, you know, the electronical dance music genre. But you took a different route, and you chose this instead, to become a songwriter and a producer. How come?
Because I don't like to be in front of the audience. I like to sit in the studio where only 5 people maybe can see me, and. But you guys are okay, it's fine, thank you.
But
I like to sit in the studio. I just realized that I love DJing, but I love being in the studio more. I love doing all kinds of stuff and don't want to be like tired of traveling and whatnot. This is more what I wanted to. So I decided not to do that and chose this path instead.
And there was also a different kind of genre that you also made some kind of a pass at, actually hip-hop. I read that the first record you bought was...
The Chronic, Dr. Dre.
Yay. And is it true that you know all the lyrics on
Not
the whole album?
almost. I think I know 80% of the lyrics.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You still know them? So you were really into it?
I was really into it.
But
it was really bad words. I can't say them again.
But how come you didn't continue? I mean, you didn't completely go for that genre either.
No, but at that time I was 10.
Oh, yeah.
So I started rapping, of course, because a lot of people did from where I was from. And then I got more interested in the technology around the studio thing and then standing behind the microphone thing.
But you did produce a few kind of, I mean, they weren't hip-hop in sound, but they were rappers. And also, this is very interesting, because when you came up, the hip-hop scene really in Sweden was standing quite still during the beginning of the 21st century. But you did some work with like Payami featuring rapper Lazy.
Yeah.
And you experimented with electronic, fast hip-hop. And the interesting part is that that was a type artists like Adam Tensta did later and really defined the new rap music sound. You were there first.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. Yeah.
How come you cross boundaries like that?
That's what I wanted to do, and I found Lazy, who's an amazing rapper, and he was brave enough to like see through the genre thing. I have to make hip hop. I have to sound like this and that. He was a great MC that could rap over anything. That's what a good MC does, right?
You say that he was brave.
Yeah. Back to the beginning, nobody had done it. People like if it was electronic sounds, rappers would go, "Hey, I'm not effing with this." So.
Do you often do that? Push them to places they've never been creatively?
I think that's a part of my personality without me having to think about it much. So, I mean, things that already exist. That's not fun anymore.
Because it seems like that happens with you often. That when you work with artists, they don't tend to sound like they did before, really, or like they have done in the past. You have kind of an artistic dare in you. And so, what types of personalities are the brave ones that can work with you? And how do you push them there? What do you do?
It's not just me. It's just me and it's Max and Johan and the whole Wolf Cousin. We're in a big team that works struggling to get things evolving. So I couldn't take that credit as one person. But so it takes more than one person to be brave or dare something. So that's maybe why it works, because there's a lot of people behind it most of the time, not always. So I don't know if that answers your question.
But this, you being, I know you have called yourself some kind of a rule breaker when you produce music. What is that about?
I mean, I don't do anything, conventionally. I just do whatever falls into my head or my hands. I think when you create this very start of the process, I think you have to forget about all logic. And then, as you go, all the logic comes back, and then you can construct it as a thing. But if you think about stuff too much when you start, so I don't do that. I just do, and if I like it, then I start thinking about it.
Is it like being in touch with your impulsive
I don't know what it
side
is.
when you create?
I don't know. I have no idea.
How much of the technical part of music making are you into?
What do you mean?
How much of the technical part are you in love with?
Everything about it. I mean, music technology has evolved so much that allows you to do basically whatever you imagine. Like the animation of movies, like that's the same thing with music. I mean, it allowed so many people to do so much that we never would have heard if it weren't for the technology.
Is it therefore because, is it true that you grew up watching people musicians playing instruments?
Yeah.
But it wasn't before the computers came in that you really fell in love with music making, and then you started?
I guess as a kid I was more technology amazed than watching someone play the guitar. That didn't fascinate me. But yeah, seeing one person behind machines doing stuff was a lot cooler for me.
Is that the type of thing you discuss the most when crafting music in the studio? Are you the one talking about filter effects and?
No, I mean, we talk about everything, but what do you, I don't understand.
What do you discuss the most when you're working together? Is it lyrics, the effects?
It depends on what stage the song is in, but everything is discussed as much. So that's why nothing is left for chance.
And I read that you were going to be an engineer of some sort if you didn't.
If I didn't do this, yeah. Like we said, we're Persian, so Persian parents only want.
Yeah, we tend to have a kind of a disciplinary upbringing somehow. But what is it without the technical stuff that amazes you? Why is it so amazing?
I don't know. It's just like machines. They don't talk back and stuff, you know. They do as you tell them.
Is it something about it's always been evolving?
Maybe, yeah, of course. They don't stand still. They stand still, but they also, yeah, you know what I mean.
And how is this? Can you tell us something about when you produce music? You have written and produced so many great songs. Is it a way you can tell how your affection for the technical part is reflected in your sound?
Yeah, but it's like I said before. It's not one person doing. It's a lot of stages. If I start with something, I get help from my mentors. Like getting it. How can I say? Can you ask again? I'm sorry.
How can I identify you in a song that was collaborative? But how do I know?
You never heard anything like it before.
Okay, yeah, of course. Of course. But what is your signature?
I don't think I have one.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I never wanted one. Then you can, like you said, it keeps evolving and coming up with something that isn't there. It feels better.
I feel like you really like movement when things are progressing all the time. Is it so? You don't like things standing still?
No, I can't sit still. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Does it reflect in your personality?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very interesting. That's so fascinating because often you see that people personalities are reflected in their likings and so on.
Yeah.
And about your personality and who you are collaborating with, you are, I think all of you may know, that currently member of a Music Factory collective, we can call it the Wolf Cousins, where Max Martin is a mentor.
And Johan Schuster.
Yes, I think he's in somewhere in the audience.
Maybe. Are you here? Yeah, I'm there.
He's up there. And you've described the songwriting process as a teamwork and compared the work to playing basketball. I wonder what position do you have? Because you played basketball before, right?
That was a long time ago. Point guard? I don't know.
Point guard?
Why not?
What are they good at? I don't know so much about sports.
They're the, how can I explain it? They're good at making points. Scoring.
That's you.
Maybe, I hope so.
And what about the we were backstage then and had a really interesting talk about the psychology of the group work that you do. Now we're talking about groups. What has been the biggest challenge for you in the group work?
Biggest when I came into this thing, I came from a world where I was just alone, and other people came where there were 2 or 3 people. So I had to learn a lot again from my mentors, how to sit in a room with 5 or 6 people and working and getting respected and respecting their thoughts and ideas. And just because if you're 5 or 6 people in a room, maybe your idea is not always the best, and you have to see that. So, like we say, just the egos have to be left at the door when you get in. So,
how do you do that?
You learn it from good people that are better than you at that.
And do you think the crafting gets better?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I said, when you learn how to respect others, they learn how to respect your space too. So, yeah.
When is it the most valuable and precious moments of you working in that studio? What kind of moments is it that you enjoyed the most?
The starting process, and the absolute end of it when we're all gathered and listening to what we created and it's finished. That's the highest prize you can get, when you're finished and you're all enjoying it. After that, you can't do anything about it anymore. That's it.
How's the starting process?
That, again, when you let all logic leaves, and then you just start, yeah.
If you try to look forward a bit, speaking of roles, you listened to hip-hop and produced electronical music, and then you were invited to team up with Max Martin right when the hip-hop... Yeah, of course, sorry. I know you're here, some apologies. Right when the hip-hop influences was in mainstream pop, and the EDM music was a hit. It feels like you were supposed to help pull the whole crew also into the new sound chapter of pop music. So I'm so interested. What are your visions of what's the next thing for pop music? How is it going to evolve?
I think, first of all, this genre thing, the things that you couldn't mix before, that's all disappearing. Like all the boundaries of what you can do or not, it's all. You can do whatever you want, and what speed or BPM as you please. I think good songs is always going to win, no matter genre.
So the genres are going to be broken down?
The genres, they're not going to be genre. I think everything is going to be broken down to good songs. If it's like a song with no vocals and it's just good sounds that makes you feel something, or just good, great songs, that's always wins over anything else.
And the audience, would they also not be genre-specific listening?
They're not now either. If you go down, they have, like I said, they have playlists now. They don't have an album of one artist to listen to. And that playlist can be from a ballad to the hard rock stuff. So I think genres and all that's going to be disappeared in the future, or even now.
It's going to be a mix, like a kaleidoscope. I'm seeing in front of me.
It is now too. What's hip hop?
And what's the future for you? How do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing the next 5 years?
Exactly what I did yesterday. I'm going to do tomorrow. Same.
Thank you very much for this brief but very, very fun interview.
Had fun. Thank you for coming.
Your first interview.
Tack så mycket.